Welcome to the Magnetic Creator Podcast. I'm your host, Melanie Mishler, and each week we have intimate conversations about the things that matter most in life. My superpower is helping you remember who you truly are, a powerful, magical creator. I give you proven tools to help you get unstuck and manifest a life that sets your heart on fucking fire. Are you ready? Let's go. Hello, my beautiful friend. Welcome back and happy New Year. I can't even believe it's already 2025. Can you believe it? I was thinking about this and it feels like it was just yesterday when that whole COVID fiasco happened. And here we are 5 full years later. And I don't know about you, but for me, I notice time flying by more quickly every year. Maybe it's because my daughter's older now, but it seems like when we get to milestones like 5 or 10-year markers, and so now we're at the 5-year marker of something that really took us all by storm. It's really easy to look back and see how far we've come, and also to see the places where we're stuck, right? The places where we might have continuously set New Year's goals or set visions for ourselves that just keep getting stuck. Or maybe we're creating the same New Year's resolutions over and over, or just not getting traction on the things that are really important to us. So today I actually had an episode planned, but this morning in my meditation, I was inspired to completely change it up. So if today's episode speaks to you, I want you to know that I'm recording this just for you. So today, as we step into the new year, this is a time when most of us are making plans, making visions, goals, New Year's resolutions, all of those things for our new year. And what's really interesting is that for most people, they'll set these really big goals or really big New Year's resolutions. I know I have been very guilty of this in the past, but they don't create the foundation or the scaffolding in order to support them, which is why so many New Year's resolutions fizzle out in just a couple weeks. And I'm not sure if you know this, but there's actually a date for it. The second Friday in January is called National Quitters Day. It's basically the day when most people's New Year's resolutions fizzle out, right? Right now is the time when everyone's joining the gym and joining weight loss programs and big things for the year. And if you go to the gym, all the classes are full. And by the end of January, the classes are back to normal, right? So today, I want to talk to you about something that's really important that will help you hold your visions and maintain momentum towards those important goals instead of having them fizzle out like everyone else's. And friends, this concept is so simple, but I want you to stick with me because it's so fucking powerful. And I will get into the science behind this because very often what happens is when we have very simple tools, we tend to overlook them because we think they're not really important or we don't understand what's happening in our brain. And today what we're talking about is celebrating small wins. And I mean tiny wins, tiny baby steps of progress towards our goals. I'm talking about celebrating every damn thing. Here's why this is important. I'm going to use myself as an example of how I used to set New Year's goals or set resolutions, or it doesn't even have to be a New Year's goal. It can be any goal. A couple of years ago, I set a goal to go to the gym, lose weight, get in shape, be more healthy, all the things, right? And what would happen is the days when I would schedule the gym and then it would come time for me to go and I decided, I'm just so tired. I'm going to go tomorrow instead. And I would not follow through with myself. What would happen is I would get these feelings of guilt, disappointment, maybe a little shame, kind of embarrassment that I'm not following through on myself, all of those things. But then on the other hand, the times when I actually did show up, when I woke up at 6 a.m. and drug my ass to the gym and showed up fully, I didn't so much as acknowledge or give myself a high five or good job or any kind of celebration. I just kind of let it go. And many, many people do this, not just with a gym, but with any kind of goal or vision that we have for ourselves. we have a tendency to focus on what's not working, to focus on the areas where we're falling short, instead of celebrating the small successes, instead of celebrating our progress and building momentum. And what happens is the more we practice beating ourselves up, not encouraging ourselves, talking shit to ourselves, all the things, the more likely we are to quit. Whereas on the other hand, the more we celebrate, the more likely we are to gain momentum and keep going towards our goals. Now, I'm going to break this down for you really simply, okay? Because if you are a mom or maybe an auntie or anyone who's ever potty trained a toddler or supported a toddler as they learn to walk, here's the thing. We do a little celebration every time they use the bathroom, right? I know when my daughter was young, we did this little happy dance every time she used the potty. We sang a song and did this dance. And let me tell you, if you can celebrate your kid not shitting in their pants, then you can celebrate your small wins, right? The same thing with when your child's learning to walk. Every time they fell down or every time they stumbled, you didn't look at them and say, you're never going to fucking get this. Like, this is pointless. Forget it. This is a hopeless case. No, we encourage them. We know that mastery comes from repetition. So the funny thing is that we know this intuitively when we're teaching our toddlers how to use a bathroom or teaching them how to walk. But for ourselves, as we get older, we tend to focus on our shortcomings, the things that aren't working, versus the steps that we're taking towards our success. But when we flip that script, when we start really celebrating the tiniest little wins, then we build momentum. And what we do is we build resiliency in our brain. And then we can take this and we can overlay the confidence that we build. So we can overlay this on other parts of our life. And then over time, what happens is because of the neuroplasticity in our brain, it rewires itself. Our brain is always rewiring itself. But this creates a success mindset where our brain starts to get wired to expect progress and achievement instead of disappointment in ourselves, instead of sitting in shame and all of those things. And it almost like creates a fabric or a template for our brains, for our future success. And then what happens is as we're acknowledging these small wins, it's wiring ourselves. It's shifting our brain's attention from what's not working, which creates stress, to what is working, which is that positive response. I want you to remember that our brains are very primitive still. They're wired to look for danger, to look for stress, to look for anything that could harm us. And when we are beating ourselves up for not following through, when we're sitting in shame and all of those things, that is a stress response. It's building strength in that stress response within our brain. But when we celebrate, just like a child learning to walk, every time you celebrate, they get stronger, they build confidence, and it encourages them to keep going. So I want you to think of your New Year's goals like you're fucking potty training yourself, okay? We're going to celebrate every tiny win. And next, I want to give you a tool that my coach taught me a few years ago. And to this day, I use it all the time. She called it the ah list. And basically, you write down all of your accomplishments, anything that you're proud of yourself for accomplishing. And for me, it wasn't just about my accomplishments. It was also about surviving certain traumas, overcoming things, being adaptable to certain things. All of that stuff got on my ah list. And what you do is when you create this list, I want you to just go back through your life from your childhood and write down anything that you think is an accomplishment, anything that you're proud of yourself for doing, anything that you overcame. And then once you have this, you can look at it and you can use this as a template for your future successes, right? It reminds us that not only can we overcome challenges, but that we're really fucking capable, that we can do hard things, that we can set and reach goals. And what happens very often is that we'll set a bunch of goals and we'll have progress towards our small ones, but those big dreams, those ones that are important for our legacy, that are important for our life fulfillment, we are not getting traction on them. And it can be a huge confidence killer to have those just kind of sitting in limbo, to not have momentum towards them. It can create this kind of energetic friction, or it's almost like itchiness under our skin or discomfort. And so we can use this list to remind us of our power, to remind us of our ability to achieve big things. So even though it might not feel like you're getting traction on your goal right now, those small, tiny things, those small baby steps are actually traction. We just don't acknowledge them usually because we are looking for huge milestones. And I want you to stop looking for those huge milestones. I want you to start breaking them down, not only into the tiniest steps, but into the tiniest accomplishments. If your goal is to build a thriving business and you take one tiny step towards that today, celebrate it. If your goal is to get into shape or to be more healthy, and you actually show up for yourself by going on a 15-minute walk, celebrate that shit. If your goal is to find love this year and you reach out to one person and have one date, celebrate that. Let's stop looking for what's wrong and start looking at what's right. Looking at our tiny successes, the tiny things that we're doing right to reach our goals, to get momentum and live fully in our power. Okay, friends, so I want you to make your list. Write down all the things that you're proud of, all the things that you succeeded in. Make it even the smallest little things. This shifts our energy. It increases our vibration and it creates an energetic template that you can overlay on other parts of your life as you start working towards those big goals. And especially as you go through periods of struggle, because it's not always happy, easy. It's work, reaching our big goals, whatever they are. There's often work and struggle in there, and that's okay. But once we have this template of acknowledging our huge successes, even our small successes, then we can use that as a template and as a booster to keep us going when we get frustrated or disappointed or when we have setbacks. Okay, friend, I know this is the simplest concept ever. I don't know why I had to share this with you today, but it was important to share. So if this speaks to you, I want you to really take this to heart. And if you are ready to create some unstoppable momentum in 2025, then I still have a few seats left in my upcoming course, Manifestation Mastery. This is the only time I'm offering this. It's a small group, only 12 people max. We're going to be working together for 6 weeks. I'm going to take you through the entire framework of neurosomatic manifesting step by step, teach you how to identify and overcome all those little barriers that have been holding us back so that you can create anything that you want to. Absolutely anything. It's going to be a lot of fun. This is the only time I'm ever going to offer it at this price and with this small of a group. So if you want some one-on-one coaching with me, if you want to really step into your momentum and your power and flow, then please sign up. We're starting on Sunday. It's 6 weeks. And friend, I got you. We're going to make some shit happen. Okay, friend. Until next week, happy 2025. Set your visions big. Set your visions bigger than you ever have because you have the power to create anything in your life that you want. I promise you. Until next week, be well and keep manifesting an epic fucking life.